everyone, my name is Bailey Zerr, and today I'm going to be showing you the intervention called the Worry Tower. And I found it mostly online. There's a couple different versions of this, and there's tons of different ways that people have done it online. So I kind of just meshed a bunch of things together to kind of create the best intervention to work with the population that I'm working with. So the targeted age group is really elementary school. It can definitely be used in middle school, just depending on the way that you go about it. So it's elementary to middle school kids. I'm using it for a third grader with anxiety issues, and really I'm kind of using it not necessarily as an intake, but pretty close to after intake. So just getting a baseline for why she's worried, things that are happening when she's worried, that sort of thing. So I'm using it towards the beginning of our relationship, just to kind of get a better baseline for what's going on. So the materials you need is a Jenga set. You can get it pretty much anywhere, Target, and a printout of the questions. And I can show you the questions right here. So the first one is, what is a worry that you have? Who is someone who can help you with your worry? When you're worried, what can you do to help you feel better? And name something that happens to your body when you're feeling worried. So I just have the questions typed out, and then next to it I have a symbol. And so I picked 4 different symbols, a star, a circle, a square, and a smiley face. And on each of the Jenga pieces, I have written in Sharpie one of the symbols equally. So there's 4 symbols throughout the Jenga set, so each one has one. So step-by-step instructions, really, again, so prior to the student arriving, you'd want to mark out all of the Jenga pieces with the symbols and make sure that you just have a printout with the symbols that correspond. Just introduce the activity, make sure that the student understands how to play Jenga if they haven't played that before. And then just kind of go throughout the activity. So each time that a student pulls a piece out of the Jenga set, they're going to figure out the symbol that's on there, and then I or the student can read the question and then answer the question that it corresponds to. And so you'll go through that until the tower falls. Depending on what age group you're working with, can kind of relate, depending on if they can kind of understand a metaphor at that point, you can kind of relate the tower that's precarious, that's sitting there with all the pieces around, being your worry and being that something that's anxiety building, and then when the tower falls, how you feel when the tower falls, so how you feel when your worry is released, that sort of thing. But again, you really only want to do that with a student who can kind of piece together the metaphor and have that make sense. So some of the follow-up processing questions, just how does it make you feel to talk about all of these things that are worrying you? Kind of just recap some of the things that you talked about during the intervention, and just kind of ask them, if they're feeling anxious right now after talking about all of those things, if they need a second before they can head back to class if you're in a school setting. So those sort of things. Some multicultural considerations to be aware of. Just culturally, it might not be appropriate to talk about things that are worrying you or things that are causing you anxiety with another person. So just making sure if you are working with someone like that, you might want to use it later in the process, later than I did with this student, just so that you've built that rapport so that they feel a little bit more comfortable talking to you about those things. Also, some modifications needed for children with special needs. I wouldn't do it with any student that has a physical disability that would prevent them from being able to complete the game, being able to move the pieces, the fine motor skills needed for that. However, I did find online that you can pretty much do the same intervention with a different board game. It's called Break the Ice. I'm not familiar with it, but it does seem a little bit easier to maneuver. So a student that might have a physical disability, you could use it that way. And then I also wouldn't use the activity with a student if they have severe sensitivity to loud noises, just because it can be loud when the tower comes crashing down. So just something to keep in mind if that might be startling and might cause some issues for that student. Otherwise, just gonna get this started and show you the intervention. I will be doing it with Amy, and she's going to be a third grade student with some anxiety issues. Thanks. Hi, Amy. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I know last time we talked about how you were a little worried about a couple things and you're having trouble getting to school, having trouble getting out of the car in the morning. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today. And I brought in a game for us to play, and it's called the Worry Tower. And I was wondering if you would want to play that with me today.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so have you ever played Jenga before?
I have not played Jenga before.
Okay, so all you have to do is you're going to take one of the little pieces out of the tower and try to do it without knocking the whole thing over. So when you pull one out, you're going to see a little symbol on each one, and all you're going to do is correspond the symbol with one of the questions that I have here, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what you're worrying about and ways that we can kind of work on that. Does that sound like something you want to do?
Sure.
Okay, great. So if you want to go first, you can go ahead and pull one of those out. Great. So what symbol did you get?
I got a circle.
Okay, so that question is, who is someone who can help you with your worry?
Well, my mom always helps me when I'm worried.
Okay, so you can go to your mom when you're worried about things?
Yes.
What does your mom say?
My mom always just helps me through my worry and talks to me about why I'm worried.
Okay, that's great. That's great that you can go to her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to go next. Okay, I got a smiley face. So the smiley face is name something that happens to your body when you're feeling worried. Can you tell me something?
Well, when I'm feeling worried, I start to get a stomach ache, and I think I'm going to get sick.
Yeah.
And I start to sweat and kind of shake sometimes.
Wow, that sounds really scary.
It's very scary.
So you feel it in your tummy mostly?
Yeah, in my tummy.
Okay, how about you go ahead and pick another one? Another circle. So is there someone else that you can go to when you're worried?
Well, my mom always says I can go to my teacher, but I don't know her very well since I'm new here.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your teacher.
Well, she seems very nice, but she seems like she has a lot going on with other students, and I just don't really know her very well yet.
So I know your teacher, Miss Williams, and I think she would be really happy if you went to her if you were feeling a little bit worried with your tummy hurting and that sort of thing. Do you think maybe next time you could do that?
Yeah, I can try that.
Okay, so maybe we can even talk to her together sometime.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good.
Okay, let's go. All right, I got a star. So that one is, what is a worry that you have?
Where I have, I guess, making new friends.
Yeah. What worries you about that?
I don't know. It took me a long time to make other friends. I like my old friends, and I guess I'm worried these friends won't like me like my old friends do.
That sounds really hard. So when you're worried like that, your tummy gets hurt, and you can go to your mom about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom tells me not to be worried, but I can't help it when I'm in the classroom.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, huh? So maybe next time, after we're done playing this game, we can talk about some ways that you can maybe make some new friends here.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. There we go.
A star.
Stars. So can you tell me something else that you've been worried about lately?
Another worry, I guess, is that kids might be mean to me too.
Yeah.
Because I see they can be, some are mean to each other. And I don't want them to be mean to me.
Yeah. That sounds kind of scary too. So, is there anything you're really worried about them saying to you, maybe?
I mean, I guess anything mean, since I don't know them, and I don't like when people say any mean words.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, when that happens, what can you do when you get worried about that?
I guess then I kind of just don't talk, and I'm really scared of just making new friends.
Yeah. So really about the friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I pick another piece. We can talk a little bit more about that one. Okay. So who is someone that you can help you when you're worried about other people being mean to you?
I guess, again, my teacher is there, but I guess if we go and talk to her about me coming to her, then I won't be so worried
Yeah.
about going to talk to her.
Okay, great. Yes, we will definitely do that next time, okay?
Sounds good.
Great. Okay, you can go ahead and pick one more. There we go. Ooh, a square.
Swear.
Okay, so when that one is, when you're worried, what can you do to help you feel better?
Well, when I'm worried, I guess I can think about my friends that I had before and how I made them. But I just feel so sick when I feel worried.
Yeah, so when your tummy starts hurting and you start getting hot and you start getting all worried about that, is there anything that you really like to do? Maybe read or play a game? Is there something that you would like to do that you might think would help?
I do like to read. I like to draw.
You like to draw? Oh, great. Great. So next time that you're feeling worried or wondering if someone's going to be mean to you or worried about making more friends, maybe you can go ahead and go draw.
That sounds good.
Sound good?
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Great. Okay, let's pick more. Right. I got another star. So is there anything else that you're worried about?
I guess that's really it. It's just the friends and people being mean and having somebody to talk to.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's still pretty scary, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my big worries.
Okay, how about you go ahead and pick one more? Oh! Oh, man. That was kind of loud, huh?
That was so loud. It's so scary.
Okay, so when we're talking about this, all of these things, that got the tower started wobbling over and getting a little scared about it. How do you feel now that all of these worryful things got knocked down?
Well, I feel like I don't have to always feel worried, that they can go away.
Yeah, and it was okay when the things fell down?
It was a little scary for a second, and then I feel okay now.
Feel okay now? Okay. So how about we talk just a little bit more about what we said we might do?
Okay.
So when you start feeling worried about making friends, about other people being mean to you, who do you think you can go to?
I guess I can go to my teacher.
Okay. Okay. So next time we're definitely going to go. We're going to talk to your teacher and see what she might be able to do when you're feeling worried, when your tummy starts hurting, you start getting hot, those sort of things. Does that
Sounds good.
like a good
Yeah.
idea?
That sounds like a good idea.
Great. Okay. So I'm really glad you came in today, and we're definitely going to start working on those things. And I was really happy you came in.
Thank you.